Hey guys, so this is going to be my last video in this little series I did on the shoulder injury I had about a month ago. I am now back at 100% and I wanted to really download for you a lot of information that I think will be really helpful for you in getting back to 100%. I'm super grateful that I'm at the point I'm at now. This is an injury that I think under normal circumstances would have taken months to heal. And originally I thought I would have needed surgery. It was really a serious injury. I couldn't move my arm at all. And now I have full mobility, there's no pain, there's no inhibition in range of motion at all. So let me go through a little bit of things that I learned, because I'm always learning, I'm always adapting, always evolving. My system is always changing as I learn new things. And the best way to learn is going through an experience like this. So the first thing I want to talk about is this kind of 90-10 rule, which is that when you get an injury, the first 90%, getting back to 90% health is pretty standard. It might take a lot longer if you do other modalities or you just rest it and hope that it's going to heal on its own. It could take months or years, but eventually you're going to get back to the point where it's pretty much back to about 90%. You feel it maybe at the top range of motion, or you don't have a lot of strength there, and you might be worried about re-injuring it. You just can't get it back to that pre-injury level, and that's where you want to be, right? Because if you're going to go back to sports, or you're going to go back to your hobbies, or whatever it is you're doing, it doesn't matter if it's your shoulder, it could be your knee, your elbow, your low back, your ankle. It doesn't matter where that injury is. You need to get back to 100%, and ideally to get it back to that 100% and then stronger than it was pre-injury, because you want to really protect it, and not just that area. You also want to protect other areas, because as soon as you have weakness and instability in one area and you go back and try to do sports or what you were doing before, running, jogging, gardening, it doesn't matter. Your body is going to have to deal with whatever range of motion you're doing, and it will get it from some other area if it can't get it from the right area. So if I'm trying to do something with my right shoulder and it's not really working, I might tweak my left shoulder, because all of a sudden I'm trying to protect this and I might do something here. Or with the knees, the same thing. You might move a different way than you're normally used to moving, or the way your body wants to move, and all of a sudden you tweak your left ankle or you tweak your left hip. So these things are really common. So it's not just about getting back to 100% for that injury, it's also about protecting the rest of your body. So that last 10% is the hardest. If you think about weight loss, it's kind of similar. If you're really overweight, losing weight in the beginning is actually really easy. It might be as simple as cutting out a soda, or not having that second plate. Your body will want to shed that weight quickly. But as you start losing weight, when you get near your finish line, those last 5 pounds or 10 pounds are really tough. Your body is going to make you work for it, because it doesn't necessarily want to relinquish that last bit of weight. Same thing happens with an injury. Your body is now used to protecting that area and is nervous and scared about releasing it. And so you have to push it through, and that means doing really good rehab. That means movement, strength, training stability, pushing through ranges of motion that might feel a little tight and sore. You got to push through that and retrain your body to move naturally. If you don't do that, then your body will just start to hibernate in that wonky position where it just always kind of feels unstable. And I talked to a friend of mine. I like to play basketball. I talked to a friend of mine. He hurt his shoulder. It's been hurting for months. And I told him, I was like, if you don't do these things, it'll hurt a year from now or 2 years from now. It'll just keep hurting because you're not taking care of the actual root cause of the issue. Once you do that, it'll heal. So I want to go through a few things I was doing in the last maybe 2 weeks to really get myself back to 100%. So I started with some static holds. And the reason I did that was I didn't really want to move it and tweak it again. So I was doing a lot of things where if I was against a wall, and I can just show you here, if I was against a wall, I would push here. And then I would push here. And you could also push back. And actually what I was doing was I was in my car, I was pushing against the seat, and then I was externally rotating. And then I would bring my elbow up and externally rotate. And the idea was just get some strength and then see how that range of motion is. And knowing that I play basketball, another thing I was doing is I would raise my arm up and I would push here as if I was shooting. I would push here. And this was really sore. So what I realized was there was actually a lot of damage in my arm. It wasn't just the shoulder, there was stuff going on with the bicep, the tricep, my delt. It was really kind of all over the place. There was damage everywhere. So once I started to do these static holds and then slowly kind of move into them a little bit, move in and out of ranges of motion. So if I'm holding here, if I'm externally rotating and pushing here, then maybe come up, go down. It's all about just playing with different ranges of motion. When I would raise my hand up, one of the things I would do too is I would twist, and then I would actually push and push against my hand, resistance. Can I bring my elbow in? Where does my shoulder, where does my arm feel wonky? Obviously, you know, there's lateral raises too, and you can hold a bottle of water and you can just kind of come out like this. Does that feel wonky? Can you just hold it? Can you just hold it there and start to build up that strength and stability in this range of motion? Obviously, there's shoulder raises. There's all kinds of stuff you can do, and it gets a lot more complicated. There's a lot of other things you want to do too to really rebuild the shoulder. But in the beginning, just doing some static holds in different ranges of motion and then slowly see, can I move it here? Can I move it there? If you're playing, you know, basketball, there's certain ranges of motion that you want to test. Whatever your sport is, if it's tennis, you know, can I move through this range of motion? Can I resist a little bit with my hand here to open up? Is that okay? Can I throw? Can I slowly move here? Is that okay? Is there a point in that range of motion where I feel it? Well, if I'm feeling it here or here, that's where I want to start moving and playing and testing my shoulder to start to strengthen it. So you obviously only really get there once you're kind of at that point where you're in that 80 to 90 percentile, you're kind of out of pain and you're feeling like, okay, I'm ready to start testing it. This whole process is so critical because if you go back to doing what you love, which is what we all want you to do, it's what you want to do, that's the goal. But if you do it pre-strength stability in the rehab process, the chances of you tweaking it again are so high that what's going to end up happening, the odds are that you are going to take a big step back. So let's say, give me 2 weeks, a week, maybe 2, where you're doing static holds and starting to strengthen and doing all the exercises in my program. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, every day it's getting better and better and better. That 2 weeks could be 2 months if you tweak it or take a big step back. Because not only do you have the injury, now you've tweaked it again. Your body's gonna see, I told you we shouldn't be moving it. So the idea is take that extra 2 weeks if you can. It will save you so much time and frustration because then your shoulder will be protected or the injury will be protected. You can go back and then you won't re-hurt it again. So I hope this has been helpful. This has been, you know, a crazy journey for me. I think that, you know, I've learned a lot and I hope that some of the things I've been talking about will help you too, so that you understand this is the process. When you get hurt, your body locks it down. You need to build up your immune system so that it sends in healthy immune cells that help you remove the damage with lymphatic drainage. It helps you rebuild healthy muscle and tissue. It's just a natural process and you want to support it. That's step 1 of the body's natural healing process. Then step 2 is start to rebuild it, right? So you want to let that process work out and you want to support it. You want to take pressure off the main joint. So in this case, can I remove adhesions and knots in my chest and back and in my lats? Can I take pressure off that joint? Then step 3 is, okay, now it's feeling a lot better, but it's still sore, it's still really weak. Now it's time to start challenging it a little bit, safely, gently, in nice, easy ranges of motion, really slowly so that I don't tweak it, but I'm just testing it a little, see where it's weak, see where it's unstable, and then start to strengthen there. You do those things, the rehab process will work, and then you will heal significantly faster than if either A, you do nothing, or B, you try to go back too early and retweak it or injure some other area. So thanks for watching. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll be back soon.